Hey everyone, welcome back to Madgicorn Messages. I am going to pull some general messages for the collective and just whatever comes through, whatever is meant to be heard for the viewer. Ask the Spirit to please come through with those messages. All right, Spirit. Messages for the highest good of the viewer, of the collective. What message needs to come through right now? All right, we have don't settle. Don't settle, dream big. There's more for you. So, one thing that I'm getting right away from this, I mean, it's within relationships specifically, this is pretty obvious, I feel. We get into this mode, into this cycle, sometimes, not all of us, but for a lot of us. And when I say we, I mean, including myself, collectively here, everybody, I'd say is going through this, has gone through this, or will go through this. But what I was getting was, so the obvious one that I think a lot of us experience or, we talk about is when you fall into this comfort of a relationship because it's familiar. And so even if it's not good for you, we still feel as if this is the best relationship for us just because it's familiar and we know how to navigate chaos or navigate just familiarity, and that could be in the form of something that's unhealthy. But it also could mean that even if a relationship isn't terrible, it doesn't mean that it's right for us, because, and this could be in a romantic relationship, a friendship, it could be in family, even work, whatever that is. Work is also coming in strong. So I feel like this is strong for romantic relationships and work, job. But even if the relationship itself, the dynamic is good, right? Maybe there's really nothing in that relationship that is necessarily bad, or happening to you or happening within the relationship that could lead to, sorry if you hear my daughter. What I'm getting is you can be in a relationship, right? Work, family, friendship, romantic, and it may not be bad, but there's something just doesn't feel like it's quite right. And that feeling like there's more, I want more, so why am I not feeling okay? I have everything that I want, but why is it that I feel like I just don't? Well, you feel like you have everything you need, plus maybe some more, but it doesn't feel like everything that you desire. And I think that you recognize the potential for what it is that you want is there. The possibility of it leading to something better is there. But because you're in a place in your life where you know what you want and you know what you deserve and you know what more there is or potentially could be within the construct of what your mind can perceive and create, you understand that there is more available to you. And within this current dynamic, this relationship, whatever that is, you're aware that it's not, I don't want to say not enough, but it's not the best place for you. And I think that's because you are settling for something, right? It could be comfort, it could be familiarity. Dream big and there's more for you. I feel like there's a message here around say you're working, you have a job, let's say you know, whatever that job is, it doesn't matter. You could be an entrepreneurial, right? Or entrepreneur, or 9-to-5, typical corporate, and professional. So I think what I'm getting here, especially with Dream Big, is that you might feel as if where you're at is a really good place to be. Like maybe you look at your life and you look at where you're at work-wise, career-wise, and you think, this is really good. This is like everything I've asked for. I have it. But at the end of the day, you leave that job feeling really unfulfilled, just maybe bored, but maybe you're in that place where it's like, well, this is work, right? Maybe you've just become so comfortable and accustomed to your job that you just know how to navigate this job so well. Or maybe it's that there is something, maybe this job or this work that you're doing is not quite challenging you the way that you want to be challenged. Maybe it's not challenging you creatively or analytically. Maybe it's not technically engaging enough. I don't know. Maybe there's not enough conversation, I guess connection, people connection. I think that there's something, I say think a lot. I'm not actually thinking, I'm feeling this right now, but with Dream Big, it feels like there is more that you are imagining, but you keep that strictly within the mind. You keep that strictly within your imagination. Like you might be like imagining yourself being somewhere else, doing something else, and then thinking, oh, that doesn't really fit my reality. It's not quite where I think I would be or want to be, or whatever. And maybe you feel like you're not capable. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough experience, right? So this is just only an example of a job. It could be anything. But I think that with Dream Big, it's Spirit's really calling out, imagine whatever you feel. So whatever you're feeling, whatever you're imagining, remind yourself that whatever you think, thoughts become things, right? If we take action. So whatever you're thinking or you're imagining yourself doing or, experiencing in terms of, like, say, work, and it feels out of reach, it's not because you're not capable, and it's not because you're not good enough. You're more than enough. It's because you're not taking action, and it's because you think that maybe your action will be misleading or your action won't be worth it. I think Spirit is really trying to bring to the forefront here is that you are very settled in something because it's comfortable, it's familiar, even if you're unfulfilled or unhappy. But the only reason why something that feels out of reach is only because you're not taking action. And so it's not that, that settling feeling just comes from, it could be also, there's fear of moving forward. There's a fear of, what if anything fails? I was like, well, thinking, like, we all know that, like, the worst that's going to happen is that you'll just be told no. You'll just be in a job, like, let's say in a job application or a search, you'll just be rejected. Big whoop, you're back at square one, like nothing's changed. It's not like you're losing a job or you're losing opportunity, okay? So again, within the context of whether this is about work or this is a relationship, romantic, friendship, family, put it into the context that makes sense. If this resonates. If it doesn't, then let it go and don't apply it. But there is something around here around settling. And I think what it's saying is that you are good enough for great things, even if it feels like it's all in your mind, like it's just in your imagination. Know that those things that you think of, that you imagine yourself doing, being, succeeding in, are very, very real. The only reason why they don't exist and the only reason why it hasn't happened is because you're not taking actionable steps towards that greatness, towards that new thing, that challenging thing, that thing that would be more fulfilling to you. Definitely here when it says, where it says there's more for you, I think maybe it feels kind of like there's this like I don't even know how to describe this. And I keep thinking about work because it's just a good example, but it feels like there's a big emphasis here on work. There's more for you. It feels almost like if you have like, you know, a scale here, or like a level, like a bar, a level, not like a level that measure, like a level, like a what am I trying to say? Like, okay, let's put it in the context of cup. Let's say you have a cup filled, and it fills up and it fills up. It's not filling up because of your fulfillment. It's filling up because of how much growth you have within this job or the capacity of this thing. So even if it's a relationship, well, your cup has now been filled. Not the good cup where it's like I'm overfloweth, you know, flowing with joy, love, and fulfillment. It's your cup of growth is filled. There's no more room for growth. And I feel like that's what Spirit's trying to say, is that like there is so much more available to you out there that you can do, you can pursue. Maybe you don't even know what that is, but because you're not taking actionable steps to move forward, you're settling in a comfort zone of just what you know, and there's not a lot of growth just within the confines of this particular thing. And so same thing with like a relationship, like a romantic relationship. It feels like dream big, feels like don't think small in terms of this relationship, that this relationship is only going to be as good as, you know, it is right now, and then there's potential, but it feels out of reach. And, you know, and maybe it is, maybe the relationship potential that you see and you really want, it's there, out there, but there's not enough growth happening to get to that point. So I feel like Spirit's saying dream big, like imagine yourself with someone who is already in that energetic frequency that matches your energy level, or that matches what you desire. Don't keep it stuck to just one person, and especially the person that you're with, because you're trying to fit someone into a mold that they don't belong. And maybe that person could fit in that mold, just not right now. So I do feel like there's Spirit's trying to tell you that what you want, it's really important to visualize yourself doing said thing or trying something different that is new, more challenging, but also exciting. Being with a partner that is equal give and take, being with a partner who inspires you, makes you, encourages you and inspires you to take more action in your life or to take action towards growth. Someone who shows up and, takes action towards you. Imagine yourself with someone like that, and don't confine it to just the person you're already with, because like I said, you can't fit someone to a mold in which they don't belong. And I feel like that's also the case with a job or this thing that you might be currently experiencing or committed to, I guess. There's some sort of commitment here. So whatever that is, there really is this feeling of just don't lose sight of like what it is that you want to receive and what you desire. And even if it feels out of reach, whether that's like the fulfillment of a relationship, if it's not happening now, it's probably not going to happen right away, especially if there's a struggle to keep that relationship afloat and keep it balanced. If it's a job, it's time to move forward and it's time to move on into bigger, better things that are going to meet those needs, the desires, and give you a bit of a stretch. It's going to help you grow. It's going to challenge you. Yeah, there's so much around like specifically work and romance for a lot of you. I think within friendships, there's, you might be seeing like a bunch of people, but like I'm getting this visual, like you're surrounded by a lot of people and you feel like you fit with these people, right? Like you have the same interests or you have the same passions and you all get along, but you don't feel a sense of like inspiration, I guess, with this group of people. And maybe you feel drained at the end of your day, or like, excuse me, not the end of the day. And when you hang around these people, maybe you feel drained afterwards. Maybe these people aren't really doing a lot of things with their life. Like they're not pursuing more. And that doesn't mean that, there's nothing negative to say about these people, right? Because everybody's on their own journey. But where you want to be in life and the people you want to be surrounded by, especially to be inspired by, these people are not those people. So I feel like there's Spirit's trying to say, like, in reference, to each one of these areas, to dream bigger, to imagine yourself surrounded by people you want to be inspired by, to be in a partnership with someone who inspires you, to be in a work environment that inspires you, something that pushes you and encourages you to pursue more, something that doesn't feel like it's draining you. And so anytime that you find that you are comfortable and you don't feel like you're moving forward in life, you feel stuck, there is a sense of settling, because you might believe that there's nothing better for you, or that you're not good enough for something, or that you'll never find something, especially if you walk away from something like a friendship, a work environment. Especially if a work environment is extremely toxic and just really unhealthy, then, I wouldn't say leave a job without one lined up, but there are those times where you feel like you have to do what is best for you. And then in romance, like, you might think, maybe there's nothing better. I'm never going to meet anyone better. This is the best it's going to get. Well, whatever you're going through, you're always going to be in the thing that's the next best thing. Like, unless you actively, consciously choose something really crappy after walking away from something that's not serving you or helping you grow, your next thing is always going to be better. There are times where we do get stuck in cycles. Maybe we fall back into old habits or patterns, and we go back to old old situations, or, old work environments, old friendships. So sometimes you grow apart, you come back together. Maybe a job you go back to is a lot better. Those things can happen. But I feel like, for the most part, whatever you decide to do moving forward, walking away from something that's not serving you should not come from a place of fear of missing out and not finding something better. I really feel like there is a very heavy emphasis that no matter what you do, there will always be something better on the other side of this letting go, this moving forward. It will always be better. It will always be an improvement and a step up. Oh, yeah. Let's just I thought I was going to pull more cards, but I just don't feel like there's a need for more cards on this one. This really is like very specific. Someone, some of you, all of you, well, whoever this is meant for, resonates with, there really is a message here just to not get comfortable, to not get settled. It's okay to grow in a relationship or a dynamic and become, comfortable enough that you know what you're doing, or you feel like an expert in your field, or you feel like you can finally feel, I don't want to say settled for the long haul, right? Because like in a relationship, when you find the right person or you find a job and you feel like that's good, you know that you can do your job after some time and do it so well, like you're the expert in your field, and that's great. But there's always the desire to want to continue to grow and, to continue to challenge yourself and to seek those opportunities out. But you're only going to be inspired to do so when you are around people, places, and things that inspire you to be better. So there's definitely something like an environment, there's friends, there's people, person you're with, that's just, I don't want to say they're holding you back, but you're holding yourself back by settling and thinking small. So whatever that resonates for. All right, Spirit, let's just get some C melody. Let's get a C melody message here. Message of guidance. All right, there we go. The ocean. Be beautiful, mysterious, wild, and free. I feel like what's being said here is like, don't be what people expect you to be. People are expecting you to stay still. People are expecting you to stay small. People are expecting you to stick around. People are expecting you to never change. And I do feel like the ocean is ever changing. And I just feel like the message here is for you to not be what people expect you to be, not to force yourself into being someone that you're not, but to allow yourself to change and to want different and to want better. And sure, you might, this is how it always happens, and this is how I've seen it happen for people, is you change, you want better for yourself, you move forward and progress, and people fade away from your life. People who don't matter in your life's progression, if they're not there to support you, if they are there to support you and they love you and they want to see the best, they're going to stick around. They won't fade away. That's just the way it is. What is meant for you, whatever is meant for you, will always be around. And that's just the thing, is like friendships that you thought were really strong might fade away because they technically weren't there for you. They were there for you for a season. Now they're moving on with their own lives. So don't be surprised that if you decide, okay, I'm ready for change and I'm ready for greatness, I'm ready for something else, I'm ready to be challenged, I'm ready to be inspired. Don't be surprised if things fade away from your life, quietly, quickly, unexpectedly. And don't be surprised, by who the colors that come out of people when you do change. You're not just settled and comfortable in your life, but people are comfortable with you settling in theirs. And so when you start to change and when you start to want more for yourself, sometimes people that don't want you to grow and don't want more for you become angry, right? And a lot of that's just to cover up for sadness. But you'll start to see the colors that people show you and who they really are. And that's not a reflection of you, that's a reflection of them and their sadness around not being able to do what you do, or to not be able to take the steps of faith that you will. So Spirit's really just trying to come out and say, remind yourself of your greatness, remind yourself of what you're capable of. The only reason why you feel stuck or you feel stalled or you feel like something feels unachievable is only because you're not taking action. And don't come out of that comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Choose to be inspired. Choose to not settle. And don't allow people to... You don't want people to think that you are going to just settle for anything and everything and to never change. Be that surprise, be that unexpected, change in your life and in other people's lives. Because I'm not saying do it on purpose, right? So that people will leave your life. You don't want that, but you have, it's just like that saying goes, be the change that you seek. you want to be that change, and you might just be the inspiration for anyone else in your life who is afraid of change and afraid of moving forward and letting go of things that don't serve them. You might just be that change. And maybe you'd be surprised at people that come out and say, you're so courageous for taking steps of faith to move forward towards dreams, towards big things that just seem unattainable, but you have enough strength and courage to move forward and to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And if that means letting go of people, places, things, but also clearing away and detoxing things out of your life personally for your bad habits, mental thought patterns, whatever those things are. I just think that Spirit's asking you to be the change, step forward, take steps of faith, and know that you don't have to just sit comfortably where you're at. You are good enough. You're more than enough for anything that you want to achieve. It just takes time. It takes commitment. And I think that Spirit's trying to tell you here with the ocean, be beautiful, mysterious, wild, and free. Just be the unexpected. Be the change. All right, that's the message that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this message. Thanks for watching.